taking a live look at the Bentley. What a great place to skate. I love how Toronto has so many opportunities for us to get out, get some exercise, maybe teach somebody how to skate. I could use one of those little push things. A beautiful evening for it, that's for sure. And again, 25 people allowed on the rink, everybody keeping their distance. You have to bring your own skates, you need to wear a mask. And you can seriously have a really good time. Get out there, get some exercise. Now, our weather is relatively quiet over the next couple of days. We're actually seeing a few isolated flurries right now as I speak, but you can see that weak little system just coming over the shores of Huron through Goderich over towards London, Hamilton, Oakville, Burlington, everybody kind of seeing a few isolated flurries right now. In through Toronto, 2 degrees at the airport, so we're still really mild. The winds are really light, so we're not looking at much of a wind chill, feeling more like -1 when you factor that in, so that's really not that bad. Through the overnight, we are going to be dropping down to -3, and it will feel more like -7. So yes, we do have some colder air on the way, but it's really not going to be bad. We have a relatively unsettled week, but when I say unsettled, I mean, you know, a few flurries here and there. Seeing a daytime high of 1 degree for tomorrow. And if you look at our futurecast, you can see we do have a bit of a system coming in through Tuesday where we could see a few more isolated flurries, couple centimeters of snow between kind of now and then. Really, it's not going to be a winter wonderland, but might put a nice little coating on the grass to make it at least feel a little bit more like winter. Yeah, seasonal conditions are going to continue until about midweek, and then we will start to see things cool down quite significantly. We're going to go from 1 tomorrow to -4 on Wednesday, but at least we'll see a little bit of sunshine with a couple of flurries. So there you have it. We've got relatively mild weather continuing until midweek, and winter, yeah, it's going to come. By the end of the month, we're going to see a pattern change.
News.
Of snow, the Laurentians picked up almost 35 centimeters. The system has now moved its way off towards Atlantic Canada, so people in Quebec City and in Montreal, they're in the clear, but boy, they've got a lot to shovel. For us, we're just seeing a few light flurries right now. It's kind of that pretty, you know, stuff that you like to sit inside and watch fall. Now, I'm taking a look right across the country. I wanted to show you kind of the cooler Arctic air that's going to be working its way south for us by about midweek. So we're looking at -12 in Winnipeg right now, and that doesn't mean it's going to be -12 for the city of Toronto, but by the time we get to Wednesday, you can start to see that those purples and the whites and the dark blues start to track their way east. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the polar vortex as well. A lot of people have been asking, okay, where's winter? Where's the polar vortex? Well, the polar vortex is always there. It's always in the atmosphere. It just gets a little bit stronger in the winter. But look at our temperatures right now. Certainly not a strong polar vortex for us in southern Ontario. 2 degrees with this light snow, but it's feeling more like -4 throughout Hamilton. Feels like -7 up through Barrie, and you can see the cooler temperatures up through Muskoka, -11, feeling like -1 downtown. So again, fairly comfortable evening to go for a walk, get out, stretch your legs. By tomorrow morning, -3, we do have a chance of a few isolated flurries. I would say over the next couple of days, we are going to be seeing kind of on and off flurries, a little bit of lake effect snow coming off of Huron and Georgian Bay. So that's kind of what we're seeing right now. We've got northwesterly winds. They are fairly light, so the snow's not really being pushed over in huge bands. But I'd say we could potentially see trace to a couple of centimeters over the next couple of days. So for tomorrow, we're looking at a daytime high of 1. So again, fairly mild, -2 for Tuesday. And then as we get into Wednesday, yep, things are going to be cooling down, -4. Certainly the cooler, I would say cooler day of the work week. By the time we get to the weekend, you can see temperatures getting into -3, -5, but that is seasonal for this time of year. That is where that's where we're supposed to be. I mean, daytime highs of 4 and 5. We saw a daytime high of 4 today for the city of Toronto. That is well above where we should be. So yes, so far throughout southern Ontario and in through the GTA, we have seen a relatively mild winter. But all of that is going to change once we get to the end of the month. Well, longer days ahead, that is correct. We are going to start to see that sunrise a little bit earlier and that sunset, well, a little bit later. And that is going to keep people out of the skating rink for sure. Look at the Bentway, just gorgeous conditions for it. We're in a mild evening. There's really only you and 24 of your other friends on the rink at one time. Everybody being really great about social distancing. You have to wear a mask, you got to bring your own skates, but what a great experience. I'm really glad that Toronto has a lot of free outdoor activity for us to kind of, get out of our houses for a few minutes. All right, for our weather for the next couple of days, we are going to be seeing a few isolated flurries, and we do have temperatures that are hovering around seasonal, but by the time we get to midweek, things are going to be cooling down just a touch. All right, so here I was talking about that longer day. Well, today, we got but 2 minutes on yesterday, 5:08. That's what time the sun set. We got up to 4 degrees today. Our seasonal average is around -2, so we are looking at well above seasonal conditions. Sitting at 2 degrees for Toronto and through the island as well. -1 to areas a little bit further north. We do have the potential to see a little bit of lake effect coming in through the evening and overnight tonight. So could see a trace amount of snow, could see the car cover tomorrow morning, possibly grass depending on where you are, Oakville, Burlington, and into Toronto. So it is going to be mostly on the west end. All right, the days may be longer, but they're getting colder. By midweek, -4. So it's going to be a really brief shot of cool air, but it's going to rebound as we get closer to the weekend and be a little bit closer to seasonal before we get to the end of the month. And that is where we're going to be seeing that polar vortex get a little bit stronger and cold air move in. Well, it is a chilly night in the GTA. We're starting to see some really light snow falling in through parts of Hamilton and through Oakville, as well as Burlington and downtown. Just a few light flakes, but temperatures, they're relatively comfortable. So if you do like to go out for a late night walk, tonight is a decent night to do it. Now, temperatures are going to stay above seasonal for the beginning of this week, but we're actually going to start to see things change a little bit by about midweek. So we're going to be taking a look at that radar, and you can see the snow that's falling. That's going to continue to fall. We have temperatures that are at seasonal, slightly above for Monday and into Tuesday. But by the time we get to Wednesday, temperatures, they're going to be dropping. Yeah, getting down to about -4. That's going to be our daytime high for Wednesday, so keep that in mind. You're going to want to bundle up if you are heading out anytime during the day on Wednesday. Through the overnight, well, we could see a couple of centimeters of snow tonight and into tomorrow, which isn't too bad. 2 centimeters, I know my kids will be happy about that. Daytime high of 1 tomorrow. Evening, we're looking at -1. Here's the futurecast. We do have lake effect flurries off of Huron as well as Georgian Bay, but staying seasonal for now. Future snow, yeah, a couple centimeters for a lot of areas, especially to the west. So Oakville, Burlington, up through Halton Hills, and areas a little bit further north. Staying seasonal for the next couple of days, but like I said on Wednesday, there's that -4. So you're going to want to make sure you're bundled up and bundle those kids up as well if they're outside playing, because everybody needs a lot of exercise these days, especially if you're homeschooling. I think there are a lot of people within the GTA that would actually like to see 25 centimeters of snow. Would you? I don't know how I feel about it. I certainly wouldn't like to shovel it, but parts of Quebec, Montreal saw anywhere between 15 to 25 centimeters. Quebec City saw up to 20 centimeters. In through the Laurentians, they got up to 35 centimeters of snow. That is like back-breaking work. So they certainly have a lot of work ahead of them. Now for us, we have been dealing with a little bit of light snow here and there, but not much this evening throughout the city of Toronto. Our days are getting longer. 7:47 a.m. was our sunrise, and our sunset would gain 2 minutes from yesterday. 5:08 p.m. We actually got up to a daytime high of 4 today. Our seasonal average is -2, so well above the seasonal mark. Now, as you can see for the futurecast, a little bit of lake effect coming off the shores of Huron and Georgian Bay over the next couple of days, but it's really not going to amount to much. Unfortunately, we're not going to be building any snowmen anytime soon. -1 is what we're sitting at downtown, -1 through Hamilton, -6 up through Barrie, and it certainly feels like that when you factor in the wind. -5 through Toronto, feeling more like -4 through the city of Hamilton. Through the overnight tonight, we could expect to see a few isolated flurries, and then tomorrow morning those flurries will stick around. -3 is our temperature, but if you're heading out early tomorrow morning, keep in mind that it is going to feel more like -7 when you throw in that wind chill, so bundle up when you're heading out first thing tomorrow morning. Okay, futurecast, we've got those snow showers mostly up towards the north, and so temperatures and the factoring in the snow looks as though the potential is there for a little bit of mixing depending on the surface temperature, but for the most part it is just going to be flurries, unsettled through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even into Thursday. We could see periods of snow. That could be a little bit more significant, but for the most part we're really just going to cool down. Wednesday, -4. Looks to be almost the coldest day of the week until we get to next weekend, and then we're looking at -5. But look at our overnight lows, dropping down to -5 on Wednesday, -7 on Friday. Now, keep in mind the polar vortex, it's always around, it's always here. It just gets a little stronger in the wintertime, and it looks as though it's going to get stronger by the end of the month. So enjoy these mild temperatures while we have them, because we certainly have a pattern change on the way.